Hi y'all. So I'm making this video just to talk about something really briefly that I was chatting with another person about. And we were talking about these universal like tropes that are told to people in the spiritual community, basically surrounding like time, surrounding divine creation, surrounding the types of people who come into our lives, the type of events that happen, and the type of environments that we're put into to actualize our goals and meet our soul's purpose or actually jumpstart our divine mission. So a lot of the times, what we want to do is not actually going to align with what we're currently capable of doing. So what your soul's urge is like the thing that really drives your purpose for staying alive and meeting your goals, no matter what is actually happening. So your soul urge is going to be the thing that keeps you waking up in the morning and engaging in this life. So whatever you're doing, it doesn't even matter if you're not doing the thing that you actually want to do. You don't have to actually be living your manifestations to be in your soul urge energy, if that makes sense. So if your soul urge is to help humanity and to help people live better lives, you don't actually have to be working in that current manifestation to be using that energy. You don't actually have to be a health guru, spiritual teacher, divine being to actually be working in your soul urge. It's something that is within you that's going to be a driving factor no matter what you're doing. So even if you're working at Walmart, you may be working at, the gas station, you may be working in an office, you may be a teacher, you may be doing whatever. That soul urge is going to be the thing that actually wakes you up in the morning to actually go out into the world to continue to be a, member of the collective society. Not actually when you're doing the thing that you want to do. Okay? So your soul urge is what wakes you up in the morning and gets you going. To actualize your soul urge of being a humanitarian who helps others actualize their goals and be productive members of society so that we all can co-create and reap, life's benefits. That is something completely different that materializes in a different way in your life. And I've had to learn that myself with like the different jobs that I've had. I've realized that like no matter what job I have, I am always motivated to be a positive contributor to the environment because that is what's indicative of my soul urge. My soul urge is to help others enjoy themselves in my presence. And how I do that is by being myself and allowing myself to actually enjoy what I'm doing. So I don't pay attention to the job that I'm doing and how I'm helping people. I pay attention to how I feel while I'm in this environment, while I'm in this job, while I'm interacting with others. Because my feeling and the preservation of my soul urge to enjoy myself while I'm helping people, that trumps me actually helping people. And it kind of sounds like I'm being an asshole, honestly, like, oh, I'm only invested in myself. But that's the only way that you can actually materialize your urges. You have to focus on yourself. You have to say, hey, if I know that helping others brings joy into my life, I have to actually enjoy helping people before I can do that. Like, does that make sense to you guys? Because I'm still trying to make sense of it. Because I've worked so many jobs where like I became a focal point for people to gather around me because the energy that I was emitting was really joyful, was really optimistic, was always finding the, I guess you could say, for the sake of being like cliche, the light at the end of the tunnel. I was always able to bring that type of energy into the room no matter what was going on, even if I wasn't actually finding personal advancement in the ways that I wanted to. I was still driven by showing up and being, you know, a good person or a good energy for other people to gather around. So that's pretty much what we were talking about. We were talking about like how to stay motivated to, you know, actualize your soul urge when your reality is not a manifestation of the soul urge. So if you want to be, you know, a spiritual guru, or you want to be, you know, an elevated being that people come to for teachings or information, you don't actually have to be a guru. You don't actually have to be, I don't have my scarf, but you don't have to have that turban on, girl. You do not have to do all of that. You don't have to do all of the external things. You don't have to have something to show people that you're this person or that you're this being. You don't actually have to do that. You actually have to just continue to fight to like be in that mental state, to be in that spiritual place, to be in that heart space of loving energy, of giving energy, of humanitarian energy. That's the actualization of the guru, of the spiritual teacher, like being somebody that people feel comfortable with coming to, no matter what the manifestation is. That's the actualization of the soul urge. So we had like a really, really long conversation about it. Actually, it was mostly us just going back and forth, rambling and like screeching about it and being so excited to like have this like revelation. But I think that's like a big breakthrough. And I think that for me, understanding a concept like that and using it for myself and having another person kind of pair up with me and recognize it for themselves as well, that to me is being in that spiritual guru energy. That to me is being that teacher, that you know, that student too as well. You know, the teacher is always going to be a student because you're always going to be learning from other people, because all of our experiences are running parallel to each other. We never truly intersect ever, in my opinion. We do come into alignment with others, but alignment is just is being next to. It's not necessarily being integrated, because we really can only integrate the various parts of ourselves to become whole. It's never going to be an integration with another soul that helps you elevate, in my personal opinion. But that's just something that like I had like a really deep conversation with somebody today, and we were just like, damn, how is it that we're in these physical states where our lives do not feel very impressive? Like, we don't have the material things that we want. We don't have the money that we want. We don't have, you know, the education that we want. We don't have the job that we want. We don't have the partner that we want. And so without those physical elements to show other people that we're progressing and that we're becoming, you know, the actualization of our soul urge of who we want to be and what drives us to be that, it almost feels like being a failure. It almost feels like being a fraud, like being an imposter. But the truth is, if you're still showing up for yourself and still allowing yourself to be driven by that pure energy to reach your soul's, like, you know, purpose, that's actually the manifestation that you're looking for. And that is something that people can't see, obviously, but people don't need to see it. Like, why does it need to be performed? You know, to me, that's almost disingenuous, because you're looking to lead others rather than be alongside people who are discovering. So that's all I got to say about that. It's just been a week of just like trying to come to terms with things that are happening in the physical reality that do not feel impressive or feel like, or feels like I am doing the work so I have something to show for it. So I'm just kind of like wrestling with that, and just the way it makes me feel, and the way it makes me feel like unhappy sometimes. But I have to remember that my soul's urge is actually, you know, being lived out in different ways that other people will never see and never experience, because it's not happening to them. So that's all I got to say about that. Peace.